Hey guys, Mike Garza here with Natalie and Brennen, two of my friends from here in the Fort Worth area. Before I introduce them, I just want to quickly sum up kind of where we're at in the whole process. You've probably been following me on social media because we have 1 week remaining in the Man of the Year and Woman of the Year Challenge for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society here in Fort Worth. Earlier today, we made a big announcement that the Garza Group, which is my company, will be doing a $2,500 match, up to $2,500, because I'm really motivated to raise more money for research. That's the whole goal of what we're doing here, and we're trying to make it fun. And so just know that if you donate to my campaign, your dollars will be matched up to $2,500. So. Without further ado, I want to keep this short, but I have some very special guests with me. You've heard of Man of the Year, you've heard of Woman of the Year, but did you know that there is a Boy of the Year and a Girl of the Year? So I have the Boy of the Year here with me. Thank you to the owners of Native Coffee Shop here in Alliance. We're just off of I-35W and Heritage Trace Parkway. Just had lunch here, it was phenomenal. And a special shout out to the owners and their family. I want to tell you about them in just a little bit, but I want to introduce Natalie, Brennen's mother. I called her up this week and I said, Natalie, I have to meet you. I have to meet Brennen. And I want to hear your story. I want to get your story. So, Natalie, please tell us just a little bit about yourself, and please share with us the story on Brennen's road and how you guys were affected by cancer.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having us. I'm Natalie Taylor, and this is my son, Brennen. So our story starts, I guess, the first week of June in 2010. I had to be admitted a week before I was able to have Brennen's little sister. And I remember just crying because I'd never been away from Brennen, not even a night. So I remember thinking, oh my goodness, now I have to be on bed rest for a week, and then I have to deliver her, and I was just sad to be away from Brennen. And my husband had said, he's not eating well, he's not sleeping, and we just thought, okay, well, he misses his mom, he's used to having me home. So I didn't really think much of it, and I delivered his baby sister, June 11th. We went home a couple days later, but Brennen wasn't doing any better. He was really cranky. He wasn't eating well. He wasn't sleeping well. So I took him to the pediatrician, and they told me, oh, it's just an ear infection. Give him the antibiotic and take him home. So we gave him the antibiotic for a couple days. He wasn't doing any better. He was crying a lot, and then his little lymph nodes were swollen at this point. So I take him back to the pediatrician. And they were like, oh no, it's just a really bad ear infection. So they gave me a different antibiotic. So we went home, and 2 days later, his lymph nodes were huge, like the size of a golf ball. So I got really nervous, called the pediatrician. I was like, I need to be seen today. So I took him back in, and she was like, well, at that time, she still didn't think it was anything serious.
And
so
Brennen was 2?
He was 2 years old.
2 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweet little blonde-haired 2-year-old. He was always healthy. So obviously I wasn't thinking anything real serious either. But she was like, just to be safe, let's do some blood work. So now mind you, this is me taking him 3 times to the pediatrician in 1 week before they even thought to do blood work. So they took some blood work, and the nurse came right back in and was like, you know what? We need to take more blood work because that sample was no good. So he stuck Brennen, and then the pediatrician came in, and I was holding Brennen, and she just started crying. And if the pediatrician's crying, it's not good news, right?
Yeah.
So I start crying, not even knowing why, and she was like, I'm pretty sure that Brennen has leukemia or lymphoma. I can't tell from the blood results, but you need to get your things together and get to Texas Children's, because at the time you were living down in Houston. They're going to be waiting for you. So honestly, I was just in denial. You hear the stories, but you never think it's going to happen to you, you know. So his blood counts were so high, and they had done an echo and some other tests, x-rays, and they realized that he had a huge mass around his esophagus. And they had told me that if we had waited any longer, he would have suffocated. So I was just so thankful that I was persistent. I kept going to the doctor. I knew something wasn't right. So they admitted him to ICU because he was in such a fragile state. And obviously, not a fun time for a 2-year-old. He doesn't understand what's going on. And the very next morning, they put a port in so that he could start chemotherapy right away. And luckily, we were in the hospital a couple weeks when he was first diagnosed. So he was diagnosed June 22nd, 2010. We spent a week in ICU, a week in the cancer center, and then we got to go home and start our long journey. And he went through 3 years and 3 months and 27 days of chemotherapy.
Wow.
And he finally was considered done with treatments on October 19, 2013. So that was a happy day. So with boys, they have to do a year longer of maintenance treatment. So the first year was really rough. Multiple cancer center visits, sometimes 4 days a week. And mind you, I had a newborn baby at the time too, so it was definitely a struggle trying to keep up with a newborn baby and having a 2-year-old with cancer. So the first year was just a crazy blur, but after about a year and 4 months, we made it to maintenance. And maintenance, things start to calm down a little bit. So maintenance, you only have to go once a year for the checkups, and it got a little more back to normal. And then also Brennen's, since the type of cancer he had, we had to do radiation, and that's another scary battle because all the long-term effects of radiation was just very scary for us. So he did have to do radiation, but we're very blessed, and I think the hardest part is the friends you meet. Not everybody was as lucky as us. Even today, pages I follow of other moms that are losing their children every day, it's just not fair. So we're one of the lucky ones, and I'm so very grateful. My friend is doing very well today, and really we couldn't have made it without the support from families, friends, Leukemia Society, and everyone just stepped in and really helped us through our journey.
It's wonderful. The wonderful news that you can sit here today and with a big smile and a grateful heart say that Brennen is living a healthy, normal life. And can you just share with us, what do you recall about some of the percentages and statistics on survival for children with similar blood diseases?
So they had told us for Brennen, it was at the time about 80%, and I remember getting angry because they were like, oh, this is the easy cancer. And I'm like, okay, but you can't tell me it's the easy cancer if 20% of children are still dying. Today, obviously, the survival rate is much higher than it was, but we could still do better. We could still, make it so no children are dying from blood cancers.
One of the statistics that stands out in my mind when I decided I wanted to do this was that there's only a handful of treatments available to children that have blood cancers that can truly be treated. And so when I was forming my team, we had to come up with a team name, and we decided to call ourselves Finding Five. Finding Five, because there's only 4 treatments known today for blood cancers for children. There's about 50 or 60 for adults, but we're severely lacking, and so.
And no advances. It's the same treatments that have been around for decades.
Yeah.
So it really is disappointing to see no new advancements, especially on children's blood cancer. cancers.
Right. And one of the fascinating, wonderful statistics is that LLS, Leukemia Lymphoma Society, has raised $1.3 billion for research, not just donations, but towards research. And so that's part of my mission. What I'm doing through Man and Women of the Year is to make that number keep going up and ultimately finding a fifth treatment and ultimately curing cancers altogether. So I just want to transition and we can wrap up here shortly, but can you tell us what it was like? Was there isolation? Did you have to keep Brennen
Yes.
away from his?
Yeah, the first year, we pretty much didn't leave the house. It was either we were at the cancer center or we were home. I mean, his ANC, which is the measure of your immunity, was always so low that we couldn't go anywhere. And we wouldn't let visitors in the house besides family. So I mean, I saw a funny meme recently that was like, oh, you have to stay at home for Corona. Welcome to a cancer's life, or a cancer patient's life, or a cancer parent's life. I mean, that's the norm, you know, keeping isolation, making sure that they don't catch anything. And so I mean, the first year was, we really tried hard to isolate him from anybody or going anywhere.
What do you think but there's a lot of families currently experiencing this right now. They've been in isolation for more than 2 months, more than 3 months, longer than coronavirus has been around. And as devastating as coronavirus has been to our entire world, we think and we hope and we believe that it's temporary, but cancer is permanent. So what do you think those families are going through right now that have been in quarantine with their children or their loved one who has a compromised immune system?
Well, I mean, it's hard because it's not the norm, right? But I really think that their focus should be on why they're doing it. They're doing it to protect their loved one, you know, and that's really where your focus needs to be. As hard as it is to stay in and to stay in isolation, I think the focus should more be that why you're doing it. The person you're doing it for is more important than you being stir crazy at home with, you know, with the situation. So I would just say to try to focus on the positivity of it and, you know, enjoy being home with your family.
Right, definitely. Well, gosh, again, I want to thank you for your time, for sharing your story. And Brennen, thank you for your courage and for willing to be our Boy of the Year for LLS in 2020. And can you just, Brennen, what does your t-shirt say?
It says Team Brennen and Lennon.
Yep. So we all fight together, huh? Lennon strong. So this year, in 2019, you want to tell them why we joined teams?
We joined teams because Lennon's family, Lennon had cancer, and
She's currently
yeah.
going through treatments, huh?
And can you tell us who Lennon is?
She's a little girl.
It's okay. So she's 2 years old, and she lives here in the area as well. And I actually met her mom through a mutual acquaintance. We work out together, and she knew that Brennen was a cancer survivor. And she had said, hey, you know, I have this mom, and sorry, it brings back all the emotions of when he first got diagnosed. I don't think a lot of people know how to relate unless they've been there.
Yeah.
And so my friend said, hey, do you mind if I give her your number so that if she has any questions or you guys can talk? And right away, I mean, my heart just broke for her. I mean, Lennon's the same age that Brennen was when he got diagnosed. And I mean, they're just so tiny and, you know, it's heartbreaking. So I got together with Christina, and that's Lennon's mom, and, you know, talked to her about what the treatment looked like for us and how it's probably going to look the same or similar. And then I knew I wanted to do more. So actually in September, we put on a 5K called Fort Worth Fights Leukemia, and we were able to get over 100 participants, and we were able to raise money for Lennon's family. And then in November, we asked them if they wanted to join Team Brennen, because we do like the night every year since his diagnosis. And we got a good team together, and we joined Lennon's supporters and Brennen supporters, and had a great turnout for like the night. So
That's great. And Lennon's parents actually
they actually donated.
they
Yes.
own the cafe that we're sitting in right now. It's a coffee shop and kitchen. And yeah, we want to give special shout out to Lennon and
Christina
Christina
and Bart.
and Bart. Yeah, thank you for allowing us to be here and use your space. We're sending big hugs and good energy and lots of prayers to you and Lennon today and moving forward. So if you were at all moved by hearing some of what Natalie and Brennen had to say today, I encourage you to please, whether it's $5 or $100, please consider donating to my Man of the Year campaign. This all goes towards cancer research and families affected by cancers here in our community in Fort Worth. So thanks again.
Yes, thank you for having us.
We really appreciate you. And Brendan, you have I was paying attention to the June 22nd. That's an anniversary that correlates with
His diagnosis.
his diagnosis. So
it's coming up quickly.
okay, and so we're grateful for all you're doing to help other families, and we'll continue doing the same on our end. So
Thank you so much.
thank you all so much for watching. Be sure
Thank
to
you.
click on the link and donate a couple dollars before next Friday.